Hello, everybody. Welcome to Catfish Weekly, episode 42. Tonight, we're going to talk bucket list catfishing. Basically, where all we want to fish, and maybe who we want to fish with, or anything like that before we kick the bucket. And so, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Chuck to get started and start telling us where you want to fish at there, Chuck.
Um, well, there's some places that I would love to go to in the United States, but my dream spot would be in Brazil on the Amazon River. I'd like to go down and get get a guide, probably some locals. I wouldn't want to get any American guide that had moved down there and set up shop. I would like to get some local guys that's been fishing their whole life and spend a week with them and go out and just go target all different species of catfish down there. But that's probably uh, very much undoable. But the United States, I've always wanted to get up around the Red River, maybe even cross into the Canadian side and go after some monster-sized channel cats. Um, that's something I hadn't been able to knock off my list yet. I've got some pretty nice flatheads and blues. My largest channel cat's 17 pounds. Um, but I
That's a big
really
channel still.
I want to go after the Goliath sized channel cats. Um, that's my number one on my bucket list.
Where did you catch a 17-pound channel cat at there, Chuck?
We got a lake called Highland Lake. It's the highest lake that's in Alabama. It was dammed up in 1947, and it's a upper lake to another lake called Inland Lake, which that's where the state record 40-pound channel cat was caught. There's never been any blue cats or anything released into these waters. And back in the 40s, they released all kind of species of bluegill. Uh, you can even catch the orange and black tiger stripe looking perch. They're like the size of a cigar and bigger.
Yeah.
Um, those are up in there, and the channel cats get really big in that lake. I've heard of a lot bigger ones. Um, yeah, but I've caught 10 and 12 pounders in there, but the 17 was my largest.
Okay.
There's some really nice camouflage flatheads in there also. They were the a calico house cat where they're brown and black spotted. We saw flatheads out of there that had about the similar designs on their camo jobs. They were cool cats too.
We got old Robert Burgess in chat says he wants to fish Spain, the Amazon, and Wheeler Lake. And John Harden says he wants to fish the Mississippi River. You guys that are in chat right now, you guys start posting up on there where you want to fish, what you want to fish for, who you want to fish with. We're just kind of just shooting the crap again tonight. Just talking. Where we want to fish at. Um, you know. So, Lyle, what about yourself? Where are some places you're thinking that you'd want to hit?
Well, I want to fish Wheeler. I want to fish the Potomac. I want to fish what's that? Santee Cooper. Of course, I feel very fortunate to be 11 miles from the Mississippi River and an hour and a half from the Melvin Price Dam. But those are some places that I want to make happen. I feel like those are all obtainable to me. Um, I also would like to go to fish the Amazon River. Now I know what I think they're called parabene catfish that's down there. But what I would be interested in is red tails. I think them red tail cats are just gorgeous. A 100 pounder would be very doable, and I would just, that's something I would like to do. And while I was down there, I'm not much of a bass fisherman, don't have much time for that stuff, but I wouldn't mind catching one of those peacocks while I was down there. And I don't mean one of them like down in Florida that's about the size of the a largemouth bass. If I'm going to catch one, I want to catch one of them that weighs 25, 30 pounds. But really, if I was down in the Amazon, I see no reason to ever not fish for the red tails. That would be my goal, is to fish for a 100-pound red tail, and they're just awesome looking fish, and I think that'd be a great deal of fun. Um, I I've been up north, Chuck, and I believe me, I understand exactly what you're saying about them channel cat. Them things are bad to the bone. I would like to go up on the Red River into Canada below the Lockport Dam and fish sometime. I've not been there. I have fished the Red River. Um, Mendota and Cherokee Lake in Wisconsin is another good choice for giant channel cat. That's where I caught my personal best, which was 29 pounds, and it was just amazing. It's unbelievable how hard them things can fight, especially in a lake in 2 foot of water where there's no current. It's just unbelievable. But Wheeler Lake, for some reason, I want to fish that really bad. As far as I'm concerned, there's no better place to fish for blue cat than the Mississippi River. I hear everything about them and all this, but year after year after year, there's just lots and lots of 100 pounders pull out of St. Louis area, and I don't see that anywhere else in them kind of numbers. So Wheeler is definitely a place I want to go, and I want to go out and fish the Potomac. I want to go out there and fish it with Bobby Vargas and Ray Stitcher and Vince Rogers and the Potomac River fishing guys, and all them guys. I just think that would be so much fun, and they got a lot of good quality fish out there, and I think that'd be a blast. So that's kind of on my list. For the last 2 or 3 years, Cindy and I made plans to go out there and fish the Potomac and Santee and what's that other river that's out there, that big river?
James River.
James River. We wanted to make a trip out there for about a couple of weeks and see a bunch of people out there and fish all that stuff while he's out there. And every time something comes up, and we don't get to make the trip. So usually it's tournaments and such, but hopefully this year or next we'll get to put that together and make it happen, because not only is the fishing good, we've met some of the greatest people from that area fishing in Wisconsin and South Dakota, North Dakota, and down in Owensboro and different places we've been to tournaments and stuff, and we met some really good friends out there, and I think not only the fishing would be good, but just to get to see them again and all that would be outstanding. But I kind of got my heart set on Wheeler right now, just simply because Chuck has told us about the tournament coming up in January, and that is something that I'm really trying hard to get put together so that we can make that happen. I really feel like we'll be able to, and maybe we can do a little skipjacking while we're in the area and stock up on a few, and hopefully that's what we'll get to do. So we'll see. What about you, Chris? Where you want to fish?
Well, my wife, I'm sure you guys have heard the old expression, poop in one hand and want in the other and see which one gets the fullest. Well, my one hand gets pretty full. You can ask my wife, she'll tell you. My one hand just seems to get full, even though it's just a one. But there is a lot of places that I mean, I like a lot of guys, I'm sure. Like, I know you guys probably didn't say it, but I know that you're thinking it, you do it. Every body of water that you go to, especially new bodies of water, the scenery, just being out on the water, there's lakes that are beautiful, there's bodies of water that are beautiful. You know, we as catfishermen, a lot of us think catfish are beautiful. So honestly, one of the prettiest things that I've seen in you know, since I've been catfishing and stuff and really paying attention and really into it and everything. And I can't remember who it was, but it was a guy on Catfishing Pro, the forums when they were up that went. He lived in Arizona, and I believe he kayak fished for flatheads out of one of the rivers. It might have been through the Grand Canyon area or something. But to me, I, I'd love to do that. I'd love to go to Arizona and do that kayak fishing for them big flatheads. Um, is it the UK that has them big Wells catfish?
They
That's
have
right.
some. Scotland has them.
Yeah, the Wells catfish. I'd like to hook into one of them big old bad boys one time. Um, like you guys said, the red tail catfish. Those are beautiful catfish too. I'd love to catch one of those. Um, Red River. I believe that's where Durrick fishes out of, right up there, the Red River.
Yes.
Yes.
For them big old 30-pound plus channel cats. That would be. I mean, for us guys that have fished, you know, lakes and rivers and things like that. Out of all the fish, I mean, number one, if the river fish fight so much harder than a lake fish does. Not only that, normally you have that current as well that helps with that fight, and that whole fight is part of our adrenaline, our thrill of catching catfish. You know, these big old fish that we have. So the fight with those is in a river, I think, is much greater, and I think channel cats, pound for pound, are probably the hardest fighting fish. I know some flatheads are right there close. I don't think all the blues I've ever caught aren't. They don't normally fight until they get up close to the boat, and then when they see the top of that water, they see the boat and something's going on. That's about when they fight, and they're just so big and muscular. You know, they've got a few minutes of fight in them, and then they're tired out. They're whooped. But um, I'd love to fish the James River. Um, I've fished on the river section of Wheeler, not down mainly on the lake. I've fished on Gunnersville. Gunnersville's a really nice place. I'd love to go to Wheeler and Gunnersville again. The Mississippi over there, I'd love to go over there and fish. Um, I believe it was I don't know if it's a Wells catfish or if there's another kind of catfish that I'm thinking of. It was on River Monsters, where Jeremy Wade was talking about, and he was showing that I guess the burial habits that these people had would they would take almost the wooden raft and put the corpse on the raft and sort of light it on fire and let it go down the river, and these catfish were basically eating the remains of people and stuff, and the catfish that he was catching were just or was talking about out in that area were I mean ginormous catfish, you know,
Yeah.
300-400 pound.
The gooch.
The gooch, that's it, the gooch, yeah, the gooch,
Yeah. Yeah. Flathead with teeth. That's what it looked like. Isn't it badass?
yeah. So I'd love to catch one of those, man. That would be great. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it, me personally, there really is a lot of wants. There, you know, if I had a bucket list, it would be to pretty much travel everywhere in the country where there was a catfish at and see the scenery and try to catch that fish. You know, I mean, I really, really do just enjoy it. And I enjoy the catfishing. I enjoy the scenery and being outside and in the outdoors and nature. And um, by the way, we did have a few comments in the chat. I'm gonna scroll back up and read some of these comments. Um, we had Seth McAllister says Wheeler in St. Louis he'd love to fish with Chuck at Wheeler. Um, Christopher Parker says he'd want to fish with me and hear my catfish call. You better not go to sleep because that's when I'll do it. I'll probably scare you out of the boat. John Harden said he'd like to fish Wheeler as well. And Chris Parker said he lives about 45 minutes from Wheeler, so he's probably down close to you, isn't he there, Chuck?
Uh, he's up on the Tennessee line.
Yeah.
He drives south to go to Wheeler, I believe.
Robert Barges, Potomac is good from October to December.
Yeah, I'm 2.5 hours from Wheeler. Yeah, I got to drive all the way to Birmingham and then drive uh, probably about 2 hours north, all the way to Decatur, and then it takes me. I mean, if I go below Gunnersville Dam, I can be there in an hour and 15 minutes. But Wheeler's 60 miles long, and there's no good way to get from Gunnersville Dam to Decatur. Um, unless you go all the way to Huntsville and back down, or you got to go almost all the way down toward Birmingham and then cut back up. You can get from Gunnersville Dam to Decatur by boat probably twice as fast as you could get there by car.
And Chuck, Seth is wanting to know a little bit more information about the tournament, I guess, that's going to be on Wheeler.
Yeah, you can go to alabamacatfishtrail.com, or you can go to Alabama Catfish Trails Facebook page, and all the information is on there.
Vince Nadowski says he needs to fish with Lyle and Chuck. He got to mark one of his names off his list by fishing with me this past weekend. I had a good time fishing with you, Vince. It was windy out there. It was a little bit cold, but I was fine. I actually was kind of surprised out there that I think I layered up correctly, and I have just the right amount of fat to keep me warm. But it was tough conditions out there. I think maybe we should have drifted some and possibly gone and hit some different areas, but we didn't do too bad. We caught about 8 fish out there this weekend, catching a lot of channel cats, and we caught a couple of them little tiny blues out there, and uh, we were fishing one of the hardest hit areas by the commercial fishermen on that Tanner's Creek, which is what pool is that? That's the Markland pool. So it was great fishing with you, Vince. I'm sure we'll do it again. By the way, he had that Humminbird Onyx on there, and man, I know I have the 1199. That's a great unit too, but that Onyx was pretty, man. I really really want one of them. Hopefully, I'll have one.
Was you in Vince's boat with his, or
Yeah, yeah. My lower unit in my boat is messed up on me. I just pulled it in the garage today, so hopefully in the next day or two I'll get that lower unit off, take a look at it. But so yeah, I just met him down there. We went in his boat and put it to it. Like I said, we caught some fish. We just couldn't land any of the monsters, and we were battling the 20-25 mile an hour winds. I thought that the whitecaps were going to be like 3 foot whitecaps, and really they weren't all that bad. It all just depends on which direction that wind is blowing. So I'm sure you get into some of them bends, and where it's blowing the wrong way, you're going to get that crazy water. Let's see. Well, we got a couple more comments here. Chris Parker says some of the people he'd like to fish with would be Steve Douglas, Casey Tudorow, Jeff Bridges, Chuck Davidson, Daniel Parsons. Ron Streeter says he'd love to go to the Red River, catch some 20, 30 pound channel cats. Virginia Catfishing, love to fish the Red River as well. Jason Malone says iRoom. I guess he's in the Apple family or something. I don't know. I'm guessing he meant to say hi room. um, Aaron Wheatley says if the snow will let him, he'll be at Wheeler for sure. Yep.
Yeah, when you hit these bucket list places, if you're not totally confident in your fishing and everything, and you want to make sure you catch fish, most of these great fisheries have some really good guides if you research and you pick the right ones and make sure that they have all the right certifications and all. But most of my bucket list fisheries that I want to go to, are mostly without guides because I want to test myself, and things I've learned through the years, and target these fish and catch them on my own. That would be the challenge. Not just run up to them and fish them for a day and turn around and come back. These would be places like the Red River. If I went up, I would at least want to be on the river 5 days. A couple of days driving each way. Um, and there's also good guides at these places if you want to take your little vacation and leave your rod and reels at home and just go up and see the scenery and all and go on a guide trip for one day also.
Yeah. Let's see. A few other comments we had. Let's see. Aaron says he wants to hit the Missouri River with someone this winter. Yeah, Justin Browning and Chet Elliott won that extreme tournament this past weekend out of Tanner's Creek. I believe he had about 50 or 60 pounds, and that's a 3 fish limit, by the way.
That's
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah, I think his big fish. Yeah, the big fish of the tournament. He got big fish and first place, and it was a 25-pound flathead. So that's quite a few tournaments that I've seen now that big fish has been a flathead, and that's really uncommon. It really is. This year's been a flathead year for the Ohio River. That is.
Not just there. It's been a lot of other places too.
Hmm. Ron says if you go to fish with Casey, you got to fish with Casey out of his boat for the real experience. Yeah, Casey's got a little. It's a little 16 or 17 foot sea art, and he has a little hand controlled trolling motor he puts off the side of it, and I mean, I've always been kind of curious about somebody like Casey or something if they go and they get a different boat, a new, it might be a deep V or whatever, and completely different style of boat, and they get an iPilot, they get all these new gadgets, they don't have that same amount of control and stuff that they had in the same equipment, how's that going to affect them in a tournament and stuff, and not having everything the same that they've had and work themselves up on. I know I'm changing the subject a little bit, but I was always kind of curious about that. Virginia catfishing, be cool to fish with Lyle. Vince says when I went to the James, I went with Captain Hugh. That was a fun day. Ron Strieger says the Hugh brothers are awesome guys. Greg says won Steve Douglas's contest, so he's at the top. Had one on Jordan in Alabama yesterday. Couldn't turn before he got off. Um, Vince says that flathead came off a tree in 58 foot of water. Jason Malone says bucket list fishing partner Kate Beckinsale. Um, Lake Eufaula might be productive. Shane Bates. Got a lot of guys in chat right now. You guys, yeah, start telling us a little, like where you want to go. For let's start off with channel cats. Where would you guys want to go? I know there's a few places for some good channel cats. Where would you guys want to see?
uh, the close, there's not very you got to go to high lake reservoirs and stuff that to get them around here. Um, probably there is good channel cats in the Tennessee River and stuff. Uh, but that's just hard to get them. I've caught 12, 13 pounders. But the Red River would probably be you know or Wisconsin.
I'm gonna say the um, Mendota. Is it Lake Mendota?
Yeah.
Mendota and Cherokee, yeah.
Mendota and Cherokee.
Well, they're only separated by whatever separates them. I'm not sure it's some sort of dam up there. I never really seen it, but yeah, that they got it going on up there now. Uh, I'll tell you, someplace that you're talking about channel cat. I've been to Cherokee and to Mendota, and I've been to the Red River, and they're all awesome places to fish. But for a bucket list place that I haven't been, Calamus in Nebraska right now would be very high on my list for channel cat. They got a lot of quality fish out there. A lot of people catch a lot of quality fish out there. They have tournaments out there. I understand it's pretty liberal limits if you decide to keep any, but I have no desire in that. When you're catching the breeding size fish, which is what I'd be after, you need to turn those back. But that is becoming one of the premier places to catch monster channel cat, and that's a place I want to try to get to.
Yeah.
Lyle, are you filming out of the back room of a Walgreens pharmacy?
No,
Just looking behind you, I see all kinds of pill bottles.
no, I told you before the show started. I've been moving my whole room around up here to try to access some more room, and I just moved everything over here till I get everything else put away. Now that's just my supply, daily supply.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't even show mine. Mine's up there too. What was
Yeah,
you gonna say now, Chuck? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, Calamus. That's where when we asked Casey Tutro where he was really wanting to go that he's never been before. That's where he mentioned that he really wants to go fish also in
yeah.
Nebraska. So I've heard a lot of other tournament anglers say that would be a place, and these guys go out and catch really big blue cats anytime they want, and they want to go chase channel cats also. So that just tells you the quality of a fight in a channel cat is probably pound per pound to me has been the hardest fighting fish I've ever caught in freshwater.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. The me personally too. I know I said the red and Mendota and things like that because I've never caught. I think my big channel cat. And also, by the way, guys, while you're on here, tell us what your big channel cats are. We're gonna go through these fish. We got a little bit of time here, but tell us what your big channel cat is. Tell us where you'd like to get, where you've heard there might be either. It doesn't have to be, giant catfish, but like myself, I'd love to go somewhere where I could catch, 10 to 15 pounders nonstop all day long. That would be a blast to me. So it doesn't have to be a place with 30-pound channel cats. Just some place that you know of that is just an excellent channel cat fishing area. But I mean, I know that I recommended a lake that we have up north here. It's called Huntington Reservoir. It's not. It's only like a 1,600 acre lake or something like that, or 1,800 acres. I'm not sure exactly. It's not huge. Um, it has the Wabash River flowing into it and then down through it. Um, the Wabash up north isn't like the Wabash down south. It's like kind of like the White River. It's a lot shallower. But the Huntington Lake, the ICA, Indiana Catfish Association, had their tournament out of there, and I believe last year, and it was the only tournament where every single boat in the tournament caught fish. So it's a good lake to go and catch. There's some there's some flatheads in there. There's not a lot, but there's just a ton of channel cats. And it's and anybody who's friends with me on Facebook, You've probably seen me. I go there. It's about an hour drive for me, but I go there quite a bit, and I post all kinds of pictures. And there's probably people who are like, why is he posting pictures of 7 and 8 pound or 12 pound channel cats? Well, to me, that's it's a good time, and I just enjoy it. And to me, that anything over a 8 pound, 10 pound channel cat's it's a good channel cat for us around here. So I'm respecting it and enjoying myself, and I like to share. So let's see here, what we got in the Robert Barges, or well, Vince Nadowski says there's a local lake near him that produces 14 to 15 pounders each tournament, and one tournament this year produced a nice 20-pound channel cat. Not bad for an inland lake. Robert Barges says, in Madison, my smallest fish in 3 days was 6 pounds, and that was the only single-digit fish. Most were 13 to 16 pounds. So is that Madison,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. We was up there. He fished a lot with Troy Hansen. In fact, it was raining one day, and they had fish swimming around in the bottom of their boat. The rain was raining so hard that the Troy's boat had water in it, and they was catching fish so fast that they was swimming in the bottom of their boat. And that's, I'm surprised he caught single-digit fish. We was up there 3 days. We never caught a channel cat under 14 pounds, and my personal best come from up there was 28 or 28.8 or 29.8. It's just shy of 30 pounds, and in 20 minutes, Cindy put 4 in the boat over 20 pounds. So
what kind of bait are you using for them big channel cats?
Cut bluegill.
Bluegill.
Cut bluegill. 1-inch squares.
Robert Barges says his biggest channel cat, 26 pounds, out of the Potomac River. Ron Streeter says his big channel cat is 17 pounds out of White River. Jason Malone says Lake Schaefer is full of nice channel cats. John Harden says Kentucky state record channel is 32 pounds. That's a big channel cat for Kentucky. I'm wondering if that came out of a lake or where that came from. I'm thinking it had to have been a lake, but Ron says Hardy Lake has quality channels, which it does. We fished in a tournament out of Hardy, and there was a lot of nice channels caught at that. And I think that was the tournament. Hardy Lake was a tournament my partner Daniel Lux and we were sitting there, and really just one of them nights where it was frustrating. ICA fishes the 12-hour tournaments like 7:30 at night till 7:30 in the morning. So it gives you a lot of time to try to figure things out. But I mean, it just seemed like I think we started off drifting. We found the main channel out in the middle of the lake and started drifting it, and drifting across it, drifting up on it, and it wasn't doing real well doing that. So we decided to come in, 20 feet off of it, and is up about 7 foot, difference on a different ledge there. We fished that for a while. Really wasn't doing anything there, so we ended up moving up even shallower, and we drifted and anchored up in shallower water. We couldn't do anything. We moved all the way near, to the dam, tried to fish off the rocks and a lot of structure, tried fishing trees. We just weren't doing anything, and I think we had about 3 hours to go in the tournament, and we decided we're just going to run all the way up into the river section, which was the complete opposite side of this lake. And when we got anchored up and we got sitting there, we had about, I want to say, maybe 45 minutes, 45 minutes till we had to leave, until we got our first fish in the boat, and then it was just on. I mean, we caught all of our fish in that 45-minute stretch before we had to leave in the morning, and we caught some really nice. We're talking the 9 to 13 pound channel cats, I believe. So, and there was a lot of those brought in. There was a lot of them big old channels brought in.
Not to change the subject off of channel cat fishing, and we can go right back to it. But Phil Brown just sent me a message And he said, I'd like to be watching the show, but we are down here in Alabama with no reception and good fishing. Top 5 tournament fish with 2 overs and 3 unders, 164 pounds.
Yep.
He's got the only excuse we allow for not watching the show.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's getting it on, boys.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
the this time of year, it's really starting to pick up. Uh, this is when you'll start seeing all the guides that through the year they haven't posted really big limits for the days and stuff. Starting right now, you'll start seeing the Jason Bridges, Mike Mitchell, and them guys. Well, matter of fact, today Jason Bridges took out 2 guys. They caught 7 fish for 345 pounds. They caught a 88 pounder. One guy got his personal best, 68 pounds, and they caught a 21, 35, 40, 45, and a 48. So, Wheeler Lake's heating up, and it's, this time of year, the big ones start moving into the deeper water, and they're a whole lot of fun to catch.
I tell you what, man, if I was him, I don't know if you guys watch like Swamp People or whatever. I'd have, I think it's Liz or something that she has that electric winch type crane thing that'd be pulling them gators up over the side of the boat. That's what I'd be having. Pulling them 80 pound or 90 pound fish up over the side. I'd be winching them up.
Oh yeah, they're heavy trying to get them in the boat.
Yeah. I
Especially,
mean,
I mean, after you're the one who fought them, for about 10 minutes, your arm's already like Jello, and if you're the one that has to get them into the boat, also after the long fight, it's very hard. If
and
you've got help, that's good, but after I caught that 84 pounder, my arms were such Jello, I couldn't even hardly hold him. If I would have been fresh and not fought him, it would have been fine. But just I was just wore out from it, and some of these guys go up there and they have these unbelievable days where they catch 6 or 7 fish over 50 pounds. That they gotta be wore out and get a good night's sleep that night because just catching a couple over 50 that I have before, that'll get them arms burning.
and this is how out of shape I am. That extreme catfishing tournament that we just fished, um, Chad allows up to 10 rods per boat. So if you got a Kentucky license, uh, we were fishing with 5 poles apiece. Myself, I'm pretty out of shape. I ain't gonna lie, 'cause just reeling up 5 poles, I'm going, my God, I'm tired of reeling. How far did I cast this thing? And when I get done, I get to pull an anchor up. I'm sitting there. I mean, it's bad stuff. Huh? I couldn't imagine having to winch up 80, 90 pound fish too, along with that.
Yeah, the world record channel cat is what 58 pounds out of Sante Cooper. Um, has anybody heard of any other big channel cats come out of the Sante Cooper here in the past, you know, 4 or 5 years? That my brother-in-law caught his biggest channel cat out there. I think it was 26 pounds, and it's been within the last 15 years, but I just don't know if there is abundant. I think the world record was caught in the 50s or 60s, but I just don't know if the big blues, ruined their habitat where they wasn't able to grow as big as they used to, or what.
Whew, excuse me. I know Harden catfish. John Harden said that the record of that 32 pound out of Kentucky came out of the Ohio River in Boyd County in 2004. Robert Barger says he thinks he might have a pic of them swimming in the bottom of the boat there.
I know I've got a picture of it.
Vince Nadowski says Ohio's channel cat record 37 pounds. Um, so far, it's what we got there. But
Well, the
I
Missouri
mean,
State record on channel cat, I think, is 34 something or other. But they actually used to have pictures of that posted, and if you look at that picture, that was not a channel cat; it was a blue, and
was it?
nobody really knew the difference in them days. But I mean, it's a really, really old record, and the picture's really, really old. But you can look at the fins and tell the anal fin and tell that it was not a channel cat. And
The
uh,
Santa Cooper fish?
no, the Missouri record.
Oh. Yeah, there's not even a picture. I tried to research and find a picture of the 40-pound channel cat caught in Alabama in 1967, and everybody's saying there is not a picture of it. It was caught here in Inland Lake, and some spots of that lake are 180 feet deep, and that it could probably hide some monsters in there, but you know I've caught very few catfish in there, so I don't know what the guy was using or anything like that. I believe that lake was dammed up in the 40s. Maybe it's and now it's a lake that they get a lot of Birmingham's drinking water out of. So it's a really really clean high reservoir lake. But it would be interesting to actually have a tournament in a lake like that and have a bunch of guys go out and compete and see what kind of catfish that can come out of a lake like that when there's not too many people actually going in and targeting those fish.
Um, we got Greg's got a question for us. It says, do you all fish deeper in the winter? Chuck made the comment fish are moving to deeper water. He's kind of new to all this. Myself personally, Greg, once the water gets below about 50 degrees, I kind of start looking for the deeper holes, and I also start to bait down a little bit, smaller chunks of bait. Um, that's myself personally. You can Chuck and Lyle if you got.
The way blue cats, they kind of do a migration thing when it's time for them to spawn. They all start heading upriver, and they kind of hit the dam and turn around and spread out and spawn. Not all of them go upriver. A lot of them go in tributaries and stuff. But after they come off spawn, they start trying to get their energy back. They're very spread out. And that about the end of summer and fall, that's when they start trying to do. They start regrouping a little bit, and you'll kind of see them in. You'll see a bunch of 40s and 50 pounders that hang out in the same areas, and you might see some 60s and 70s and 80s. So they kind of group up a little bit in size groups, but that they don't actually. I think over the fall they just start moving back downriver, and it's not exactly just deep water, but they go and spread back out, so they'll have plenty of food and not have to compete with all the other ones. And you'll still find them on you know 30, 35 foot flats and stuff like that in the winter. You don't really have to you can get out on a winter day and do some very, very slow drifts across flats and stuff, and you can still catch them. But that's the time that I go try to find them. When they're running current, I try to find them on these drop offs behind humps and down in the holes where they're down out of the current. You'll see a few of them grouped up together, and I'll mark the spot and turn around and anchor down and cast where I marked the fish, and see if they're going to feed. And that's been my best way to really target them during the wintertime.
How about yourself, Lyle?
I'm sorry, I was looking at this fish Phil sent me a picture of. What was the question? Deeper
Um,
water?
yeah,
Yeah,
during the winter, yeah, you fish
deeper
deeper during the winter.
water. Usually, if we're fishing wintertime, we're looking for deeper water unless the sun's been out shining really bright for a couple of days. If it has, a lot of times I'll go up to a sandbar or a flat and check and see if there's any fish right on the edge of that, because a lot of times the shad and stuff will be up feeding on in the shallow water, and blues and will be up there waiting for them to come back off of there into the deeper water, and the drop off's usually a really good spot. So, and if it's 10, 12, 15 foot, a lot of times they'll go up there after them shad if they're up in that shallow. So it depends on weather conditions, but if it's been cold for a week or so, or you're having a cold front move through or dropping temperatures or something, then yeah, deep water is where I'd be looking. And when I talk about deep water, I'm looking 25 to 50 foot. I rarely ever fish over 40, but on occasion I will go a little bit deeper. I know a lot of guys fish 60, 70 foot. I'm not a fan of that myself. I usually don't have very good luck there, so I just usually don't mess with it. But uh, and one other thing I'll mention, um, colder weather, shad work better for me than they do in warmer weather. And I know there's a lot of guys that watch the show that are fans of using Asian carp for bait. My experience with that has been the hotter the temperature, the better that stuff works, and I don't have any kind of success rate with it in the wintertime or even this time of year when it's the water start to cool down. Skipjack and shad is the go-to baits. I don't even use cut bluegill this time of the year for channel cat. I'll still be using my shad and stuff. So just food for thought.
Well, Greg, I hope that helped a little bit. Myself personally, I can't honestly say I'm a great winter fisherman. And I've always felt like the fish are grouped up in specific holes, and you have to know where them holes are at. And I'm just not, I mean, I'm not close enough to the Ohio River where I can be on it all the time, and I do need to learn. I need to get out with some guys that do know some of them wintering holes, because there's a few tournaments during the winter that I hit, and I normally just don't do very well during the winter. So I've always been told and taught that they're in the deeper water, and like Lyle just said, that shad's a better bait for the wintertime.
Hmm.
It's good all year, but there's times of the year where different baits just seem to produce a little better than other times of the year, and so
That yeah, the shad. That's what in the wintertime. That people have heard of shad kills. There's a lots of shad that die off, and that's what they're expecting to eat, and that's what they're they got their sensories detected mostly for shad, because they know there's going to be abundance of it, and that's what they're going to be going after. So that's why it's such a good bait in the wintertime. I hardly, I'll fish probably half skipjack and half shad, and mostly I just use the skipjack for, scent trail reasons, and I usually end up hitting the large gizzard shads.
Greg said Alabama's record is 40 pounds, and Vince said the 58 world record is thought to be a blue as well. Um, I also had a question for you guys on Chuck and Lyle and everybody watching the show. I'm just kind of curious about it. Have you guys ever caught a fish in over 120 foot of water? A catfish.
No.
You broke up. I didn't hear what you asked.
Has anybody ever caught a catfish in over 120 foot of water?
No.
Any of you guys watching in the chat here, if if I've been in some water where there's over 120 foot deep, and I'm kind of curious if the pressure is just too much when you start hitting a certain depth down there. Do guys actually look for catfish in that deep of water, or
I don't.
I believe they could get used to it. Um, I just don't, the temperatures that's down there, that may be somewhere. I don't know if they would go quite that deep, if they wanted to cool off in the summer. Um, but it
I,
just I just don't see the food being down there for them to want to be down that deep.
well, I guess another question for you guys and for everybody in the chat right now: what's the deepest water that you've caught a catfish in?
Um, 80, 85.
60.
I myself, I've caught. Well, me and my son, we caught the. I believe we caught the 35-pound blue last year on the Ohio River in about 80 to 85 foot of water.
But we may be missing out on the big ones by not trying that.
Let's see. Let's see. Vince Nadolski says 103 foot of water. He got a 1-pounder.
Oh, really?
Jason Malone
I
says he's
find it
never
hard to
caught
believe
one.
anything that's calling me down
Yeah. Jason Malone says never caught one over 50 foot. Robert Burgess says never fished more than 90 foot. Ron Streeter says 125. He got a blue in 125 foot of water. He had to burp it 3 times. Harden says his deepest about 70th. Greg says about 70. And Mr. Seart, which is oh I know his name. I'm just drawing a blank right now. Um, Justin, yeah, old Justin Browning. He says 85 foot of water is about the deepest he's caught a fish in. Um, there's a picture. What's the picture you posted there?
there. Did it
Oh,
come up? That was should be the one of Phil Brown.
he's in my spot.
Yeah, he just sent me that picture. I just thought I'd share with the guys in chat. It's a 63 pounder they caught today.
He's in my spot.
Well, that's between you and him. I will mention that to him though right now.
Yeah, Justin, I got it before you posted it. I know your name. It was just slipping on me. I'm getting older. But yeah, by the way, Justin, congratulations on that win this weekend. You were out there busting it, man. I don't know how you decided to drift out there in that 25-mile-an-hour wind, but you did it.
Speaking of that, and that, congratulations to them guys. That's an awesome job they done out there. Jason Acock today landed a 70-pounder on the Mississippi River down in the southern, southeastern part of the Missouri somewhere today. That's a great fish. Kudos to them guys for putting that baby in the boat.
Yeah.
Did he have his son with him?
I don't believe so. I seen that post this afternoon, and I think his son probably was in school. I'd be guessing.
Well, guys, I'm gonna let everybody know that we still do have the giveaway going right now for the Gary Turner's guide service, the Gone Fishing Adventures. We're giving away a free full-day guided trip with him down in Georgia. Um, Basically, all you got to do is go over to his Facebook page of Gone Fishing Adventures. When you look that up, you'll like his page. Down and on his page, you'll see a picture with him holding a big old blue, and it'll say something on it about Catfish Weekly and Gone Fishing Adventures, and all you gotta do is post a comment on that picture, like that picture, and post a comment on it, and just mention Catfish Weekly in the comment, and you'll be entered to win. And I believe the end of this month is when we're going to draw a winner for that, and that'll be for next year. Pretty much any time I believe that he's guiding, you can set it up with him and go down there and get a free full day guided trip with him. Um, so go over there, like his page. Even if you don't plan on going and you don't want to enter the contest, go check his page out, give it a like. Um, he's a great guy. He definitely is one of the better people in the world, and I enjoy hanging out with him. I got to. Besides that, I believe we've had some people post on Catfish Weekly. I don't have names written down, but next week I'll have some names written down, and we'll do the Angler Spotlight. Thanks for posting on the site and all that, and you guys keep it up. Um, I do again. I want to thank everybody that showed up today. And they're taking part, getting in the chat. The chat thing seems to be working out pretty good. We're getting 15, 20 guys in the chat talking with us, and you know, really taking part of the show and watching the show and everything, and that's awesome. I mean, I know we're
Oh,
just
yeah.
we're loving it. We're loving that you guys are loving it, man. But yeah, as far as other places to fish, what about let's we'll give it a little bit more here because I don't know about you guys, but I want to go watch the Colts game. I'm dying
Yeah,
to.
I'm watching the Colts game. They're winning 3-0.
Well, I don't have a friggin' TV in here.
If y'all had a chance to go for a 4-day weekend, driving distance from your house, um, which you know close enough to where you're going to fish more than you drive. But where would you go for your flathead adventure?
Myself,
I
and
go,
I'm gonna answer you. I'm thinking probably the Maumee. That's just up. That's in the northern part of Indiana and Ohio. It's a river up there that um, there's been a lot. I mean, I remember it was a guy on the BOC that I think his name was Tim that used to post like 70 pound flatheads, 70 80 pound flatheads. I mean, just monster flatheads, and um, you know, there's been a lot of reports of some nice flatheads coming out up there.
Is it a nice fishery? It's not fished out. A lot of limb lines and trot lines and all that. It's a pretty.
I've never been there. I know I could probably get to it in under 3 or 4 hours, so it's not like it's terribly far. I just have never gone there, and from what I've heard, it's not fished out. I believe Don Sweet just posted one of his episodes on Facebook or something, and he was fishing out of that place, and they I know they busted looked like quite a few decent little flatheads out of it, and just in the 1 or 2 nights I guess that they were there.
Yeah, that's why I like this Navionics boating app on the phone. You can actually you know using it with Google Earth, you can find some really good fishing spots, especially if you wanted to just throw your rods in the truck and go fish from the bank. You can use this app and find some really good places. I've found a couple of places I'm dying to go to just to fish from the bank. It's been a great help for me having this app.
Mr. Seark, which is Justin, says it used to be good. It's not what it used to be. He says he's fished it quite a few times. Um, I mean, for what's around me, I don't know. On the Ohio River, I've caught some that are 20 pounds and stuff. I just don't know too many places with the large flatheads that I could get to in a short amount of time. I'm thinking that between maybe like um, the Ohio River up there by Pennsylvania, underneath Pennsylvania, I know they've been catching some good flatheads in that area. That's like um, who was it? Gordon, I think it's Joe Gordon or somebody like that, and Tim Sites. It's all up in their
right.
stretch of the woods.
Yeah, I see them post some very nice fish.
Yeah, they catch some good ones. If I was going to do that, I wouldn't have to leave my house. I'd be home every night. I got the Mississippi River here and Salt River both, which is what they make Mark Twain Lake out of, and both of them have got very good quality flathead fishing in it, so I could sleep in my own bed and go fishing too.
Oh yeah.
Ben says that me and him need to hit the Kanawha, which I've never even heard of. So, but I was just gonna ask something. What was it? It really does suck to get old.
Yeah, just wait.
I won't be able to do this if it gets much worse.
You'll be fine.
I'll be like, you got to put a rod in your hand. Just put. You come to any one of us and just put it in your hands.
Uh,
You just got to feel our rods. That's all I'm saying.
oh, baby.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. By the way, you guys, if you go to the Catfish Weekly Facebook page, you'll see the sort of blooper video. We were talking about the Black Horse custom rods, and I didn't really specify, and I didn't catch on until just a little too late into it. So it kind of got me off a little bit. And
Yeah, and we had a little bit of a live audience, and it was very very funny.
oh,
was
it threw me
it was
off.
really funny. Yeah, we had a blast with it. You know, Heath or Jason one sent me that link um, last night or night before, and then last night I said, did you want me to post that on Catfish Weekly? I said, absolutely. Just a little clip of. And they're working diligently on our interview sessions down at the Owensboro, so should be finishing that up here shortly, and we'll get that posted up. But we only really had one of those. I guess they call them aha moments, but it was quite comical, and it got so funny that we just, we couldn't stop. It just kept going on and on and on, and everybody in there was laughing, and that made it harder for the rest of us to quit.
Oh
The main
yeah.
culprit was your wife,
I
Cindy.
know. I know.
Yeah, I mean, she was just back there going, and that just kept me going.
No, it was a good time. It really
Yeah, it
was.
was.
I'm looking forward to doing that again next year.
Yep. Well, oh yeah, I know what I was gonna ask. All you guys, since we got you in chat here right now, give us some ideas, maybe what you want us to talk about next week. Throw up some ideas for us. I was thinking possibly maybe just ideas for for our dream catfishing boat. Like how we design it, what we change, what's out there right now. Um, but just if you guys have any ideas, something that you want to hear us talking about, post it up here. And why do I keep hanging up on you? You don't call me, Ron. I don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Well, probably because my caller ID says it's you. That's why I'm hanging. I keep trying to hit decline the call, but for whatever reason, it accepts it. But yeah, give us some ideas. You guys got any ideas what you want to hear us talking about? Or I know there's a delay, so we got to sit here and
if
wait for
there
you to catch up.
if there's any kind of special guest, come on, we're going to try to get another um, conservation biologist on. They're really good to have on. You get to see the scientific side of the catfish and all that stuff. That was a really good show when we had them on.
I
And
had I can get the conservation guy on, but he can't do from his house, and I don't have the room to put him here beside me where I'm at. So we'll get that figured out, and we'll get them on. And I talked to Brian Kennedy last week. He is supposed to get back with me on what they found out from the testing they done on the Mississippi River this year, and get me some results. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I did talk last week with Debbie Bruce from, she is the head of fisheries for the state of Illinois. And I told her basically what we would like to get her on the show, and some of the questions that would be put to her. And she was very receptive to that. I look forward to her contacting me. She had told me this week she would try to get back with me this week and make sure that she had everything that we needed so that she could do a show with us, and I think that would be really good. But and I I told her that we was not going to be nasty with her, but there would be some hardcore questions because people in several states feel like that Illinois is the holdup to get something done, and and she a year or so ago she had a lot of this stuff thrown on her that she did not know about, that Illinois was not stepping up to the plate and get some of this stuff done. So I really feel like she wants to try to progress and help us get something done, and wasn't aware of the fact. I have, that's the feeling I get from her. Very nice lady. Looking forward for her phone call because I think it would be really good to get her perspective and her point of view on what Illinois is doing. And she did tell me that they are doing some research and some studies right now. So if she could get on here with us, then maybe we could find out what they are in line to do, and try to the more people we get involved in this, the better off it would be for all of us. So hopefully I can get, she'll get in touch with me this week and we can get things worked out to have her on here. And we've got some other stuff in works too, so it'll be really good, as time comes along. You just there for a while we got really hot and heavy about putting people on, whether they had the setup for the video or not, and we're trying to do it right so everybody can see and talk to everybody that's on here. So just bear with us, and we'll get some more good people back on here.
Lyle and Chuck, what do you guys think about next week doing the ultimate catfish boat?
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, guys. Well, all you guys that are on here now, start thinking about what you'd want on your perfect ultimate catfish boat. We'll probably talk about what's out there right now that's, with the boat lines that's catfish specific. Just a little bit out there, give them a little bit of a shout out for starting to recognize the catfishing world there. So probably go ahead and get ready to close this show out if you guys are ready. But like I said, you guys start thinking about what you'd want on your ultimate catfish boat. Come into chat next week. Tell us what it is. We'll talk about it. We'll get it going, and maybe some of these boat manufacturers will be listening and on the right page. But if you guys are ready, then I'll go ahead and let Chuck start us off on the closing statements.
Yeah, I hope everybody can get down here for the January 3rd tournament. It's going to be a really good time. And if you need any information on it, there's still prize packages coming together. Daniel Parsons is working really hard on it. He got his LLC and everything done today, so the trail is now a company. That way he will be able to approach these cities, and if you have a trail that's a LLC, you have a better chance of getting voted in for added money and stuff like that. So, hopefully, within the next few years, if he keeps this wintertime tournament going, hopefully we can, grow it very big. I'll help him any way he can to help push it. So if y'all need to know anything, just send him a message on Alabama Catfish Trail Facebook page, and he'll get back with you as soon as he can. The rules and everything's posted on there already. All I know is that the big fish is going to be a prize pack, and he's already got a pretty good prize pack figured out, and there's some more stuff coming, and it's going to be a lot of fun. That's all I got.
All right, Lyle.
I just wanted to mention this, and I don't think we talked about it on the show last week. Everybody's interested in making catfishing tournaments a bigger deal. And we've all come to the general conclusion that what it's going to take is big companies to step up and get in. I had a conversation with Brad Kilpatrick before this was put out to the public. Since then, it's been released that Lund Boats is stepping up to get behind Kansas City Catfishing in a big way next year, and congratulations to them on that. Lund is an outstanding boat company. Uh, with what they're bringing to the table, some of these other manufacturers, not just boat manufacturers, but other companies are going to have to step up to the plate too. We are on our way to making catfish tournaments excel. In the next 5 years, I look for it to really take off and go. So this is going to be a great thing for all of us, and I'm really glad to see Lund stepping up here, and they will be coming out with a catfishing boat. I don't think it's going to be today or tomorrow, but they are working on it, and I'm quite sure when they come out with it, it'll be an outstanding product. We're not doing any tournaments right now, so there's only one other thing that I'd like to mention to everybody. Uh, Tomorrow is election day. This is our midterm elections in between the major elections for presidential elections and stuff like that. If you guys are concerned about catfish conservation, if you're concerned about your hunting rights, if you want to bitch about something that's going on in government, exercise your rights, go out and vote. If you don't vote, you really have no reason to complain about what happens. Do what's right. Make an honest, intelligent decision. Don't just go vote Democrat or don't just go vote Republican. Try to pick the person that you feel will do the best job for what you believe in, and let's get it done.
All right. Yeah, going back a little bit for next week's show. Ron made some good statements. Think about how you'd want to set it up too. I mean, think about what kind of console you'd want on it, a side console, dual console, where you'd want it at. What kind of electronics and stuff would you want? How would you rig it? How would you set it up? Think about all those things and write it down, or keep it in your head or something, and make sure that next week you get on the show and get on the chat and let us know, because we're gonna talk about that. It should be a pretty good episode as well. Um, Again, I do know that I just got done with most of the tournaments, so I know that Aaron Wheatley wants to have an advertisement up on the site, but there's other advertisement spots available. As you can see, the pricing is right there on it: $50 for 6 months, $30 for 3 months. Just get a hold of me and let me know. We'll get you set up. Um, Everybody that's been advertising with us, thank you very much. Um, Also, like I said earlier in the show, go check out Gary Turner's Gone Fishing Adventures. Like the page. If you're interested, get in on that contest by doing what I told you to do. Also, we have a forums. I know forums are kind of getting outdated right now. Not a lot of people using them, but we have one, and if you want to use it, it's there to be used. So it's got a paid version of anti-spam, so no more spam on it. Um, and so I think that's about all we have. Just look forward to next week. Thanks everybody for showing up, and like always, make sure that if you're out there fishing and I'm out there too, that you just stay out of my spot.